Hello there. I was chatting recently with a group online about the destroyer archetype. So to give you context as to what the destroyer is, it is the occasions in life where you fear the most, but on hindsight, those were the occasions that created the most profound catalyst for change. The destroyer, for example, is symbolized as the Grim Reaper, which is why at the beginning of this video that I'm about to show you has me being a little bit silly, referring to a kids program that explains history in a fun way using the archetype of the Grim Reaper. However, the symbolism is very relevant. It's very relevant when it comes to the absolute key to a happy life. For a happy, secure life, there is only one thing that you need. So watch this segment that's about to come up and you'll find out exactly what that is. Right, here you go. This is... how would I play this up to this? Right, ready? Ready?
Stupid deaths, they're funny because they're true. Stupid deaths, but next time it's not you. Next.
So you might appreciate that. Okay. Right, so let's have a look. Oh, actually, before we go into this, because I think I've just made some notes as to how I would see this. So obviously we're accessing the destroyer's opportunity for transformation. So what this comes down to is interconnectedness. This is what it comes down to, which is that the destroyer, as I said, the destroyer for you is this huge fear that the only option is codependent dynamics. There's an understanding that where you have seen them, you've observed them, you've seen them in family dynamics, you've seen them in relationship dynamics, you've experienced them, all of that, and you think, whoa, is that the only thing that's on offer? So, boom, boom, boom. You're looking for interconnectedness, of course. So you're thinking, right, my option is, how do I know ahead of time that this dynamic that I'm possibly going to risk myself in is going to turn out as interconnected? Am I making sense? Yeah? So you're thinking, right, okay. So I'm not going to put myself forward in this unless I can be sure that I've spotted it, that it's interconnected. What though if I make a mistake and it's not interconnected and I end up in another codependent situation and I'm just going to be mortified? Okay. Yeah, okay. Right. So, So what I've worked out here, as you were all chatting, is I think, oh, okay, of course. So the only thing, the only focus, no other focus on people, other situations, nothing whatsoever. Okay. The only focus is developing interconnectedness with the self. That's it. That's the only thing you have to work on. That's it. Nothing else. So how do you get to that place where you can focus completely on interconnectedness with the self? How do you recognize it? How do you solve this? Well, the first point, the very, very first point, is to spend a little bit of time, or quite a lot of time, identifying parental codependence. Very important. And you might think, oh yeah, that's really obvious. Just identify it, write parts of it down, what you observed. Because the first point in identifying parental codependence is because it's a reflection of your perceived identity. What you're doing is you are transforming, in terms of interconnectedness, you are transforming your perceived, remember, perceived identity. So when you say, I just want to be free to be me, what you're actually saying is, I no longer want to carry a perceived identity. Yeah? Comprende? Excellent. So it becomes a focal point of letting go of that. And what does that look like to you? It's literally, that's the butterfly beating its wings. It's not having to, do you know my butterfly impression? It's beating its wings. It's not actually at that point pushing against the chrysalis. Okay? Important distinction. Because you knacker yourself out when you push against the chrysalis too soon, which becomes this whole, I have to get out, I have to get out, I have to get out, I have to get out. First off, the butterfly has to beat its wings because it's got to practice building its strength before it pushes against the chrysalis. So what's happened previously is you've thought, oh my God, this is codependent, I have to get out. I feel caged, I've got to get out, and I must never get in another cage again. Wrong way round. Okay? So you're pushing for interconnectedness with the self. That's it. No other focus. Everything else just kind of figures itself out. So when you have achieved that and you can recognize that connectedness, it is then that you can have a relationship with anyone. Because codependence with you cannot be engaged. They can still act codependently with other people, but actually codependence with you cannot be engaged. Okay? So how does that show? How do you know that that has shown in your external world? Well, what starts to happen is that you have high quality relationships. They just are naturally more present in your life. Okay? You're not trying to, as they say, polish it, you know what. It becomes something else. And it also shows as though there's no more addictions. Okay? Because really, addictions, I would say, are a reflection of a lack of self interconnectedness. Okay, so those can be to food, to shopping, to substance, to people, certain types of people, or to, you know, all of those kind of, or an addiction can be to low self-esteem. You know, it can show in different formats. Okay, so as you are recognizing, and more you are recognizing that there is an end to addictions, as in the things that used to be really interesting to you and things that you kept doing are beginning to lose their shine. And what that's a sign of is that you're growing the self interconnectedness. Okay, so would you agree that certain things that you did do a lot in the past no longer have the same shine? Maybe you still do them a bit, or when you get anxious or upset about certain things, you find yourself going in that direction, but they're not as interesting as they used to be. Yeah, no? Give us a nod, give us a shake, go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, right. So, do you all get that? Do you understand that? Okay, so you don't have to worry about anything other than developing interconnectedness with the self. If that's the only thing that you focus on, you will find that everything else becomes in your definition of successful. You are not having to monitor this or monitor that or do da 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 da. And if you everything that you interact with, you can ask yourself, and you're not sure, you just all you have to ask yourself is, will this lead towards interconnectedness with the self? If the answer is no, bin it. Or ask yourself why you are hoping it will be different, because that's just exercising the codependence. Okay? Because that's going back to seeing yourself as a reflection of a perceived identity, not yourself. So you just keep going back and you go, oh, okay, so where did I pick this up from? Okay? Simple pimples. Marvellous. Hopefully you found that insightful, even if right now you don't fully comprehend it, because it's an awful lot to digest. It is, it is a lot to take on, a lot to digest, especially if you're not used to fully looking at things or fully understanding how interactions work and how, or your observation of them. Maybe you're not fully yet aware of how that occurs. Most people aren't. As a sensitive, you are kind of aware of it, but imagine what would happen if you were fully aware of it. Fully aware of it, how in control you would feel of your life. It would give you a very calm experience. Now, the key sentence to remember from what I said in that segment was about interconnectedness. Okay? The key sentence was, you can then have a relationship with anyone, because with you, once of course you have interconnectedness, codependence cannot be engaged. Just digest that for a moment. You can then have a relationship with anyone, because with you, it might be different with everybody else, but with you, once you have achieved interconnectedness, codependence cannot be engaged, as in they cannot behave in a codependent way. Codependence can be either in a way that feels engulfing, trapping, restrictive, manipulative, or doesn't feel as though it's in a balanced place. Okay? It might behave like that with everybody else, but with you, the behavior changes. Interconnectedness with the self means you become a Teflon sensitive. Technical term, very technical. What does that mean? It means that you are still sensitive, you're still empathic, and you're still connected, but nothing sticks. Okay? Nothing sticks. When you're a Teflon sensitive, no one can hurt you like they used to. No one can hurt you to that extent where you think, oh, am I too sensitive? Do I feel things too much? Am I too sensitive about things? They keep telling me I'm too sensitive about things. I have to keep away from stuff because I feel it too much. It feels too painful. No, it means that you, in being a Teflon sensitive, no one can hurt you like they used to. Okay? But you can still feel. Doesn't mean then that you're switched off to your feelings, which does happen often for a sensitive at some stage or another. You can still, being a Teflon sensitive, it means you can still feel. You can still feel deeply. You don't have to be numb to your feelings. Now the question is, how do you achieve that? What's the secret to becoming a Teflon sensitive? That's the question I will answer in the next video. We believe your capacity for empathy gives you a unique perspective. The way we help you access your uniqueness is through developing your intuition and your inner world. When you allow yourself this part of you, life is easy. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. There is always time for what's important, so make watching the next video important. And always remember that your sensitivity is your greatest asset. Until next time, bye for now.